He's rambling. Yes, the omniscient. Yes. So, how you guys doing today? Everything good?
Yeah.
Apparently, this isn't typical weather for Glasgow, right?
It's not raining.
Freeze your sack off weather usually. So yeah, I'm Dev, and you guys are Glasgow, and I'm gonna make this a little less formal than it feels right now. Well, how can it feel formal when I'm sitting on top? So this will be the second clinic I did, and the first one, like, honestly, I just talked shit for an hour. So today I'm gonna there's gonna be actual guitar techniques being demonstrated. That's right, because I'm a professional. And this thing's like, it feels like I'm laying here. Oh no, whatever, man. So I push that kind of thing. So the way I look at it is, we're gonna do like. Thank you so much. Oh, he's checking me out. That's okay. That's okay. Checking it out. Come on, let's check it out. I know. Oh yeah. Oh, nice. That's totally good. I'm gonna run through a bunch of stuff, and then I'll talk a bunch of shit, and then I'll play a bunch of wank guitar. And then somewhere along the line, we can start answering questions, and after I'll sign whatever you need and take photos. And, it's gonna be badass. You guys coming to the show tonight, or?
Yeah!
Let me see if I can get this. Can you turn up the echo? Oh. What? This? Number 4. Yes. Yeah, echo on everything. So how does one start here? Okay, so I guess this supposed to be a guitar clinic. I'll start by saying I'd much rather play bass, but I've been playing guitar for so long that I guess it's my instrument, right? And you know, when back in the beginning here, when we started writing music, I say we, meaning the royal we here, me and Ziltonite. I remember hearing the Zeppelin song, I guess it was Friends off Zeppelin 3, and it's in the key of like open C. So everything I've written since then has been in open C. So it's like, why don't we just be super loud now? Sounds good. So it'd be like C, 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 G, C, G, C, E. So it's like a big C major chord. So like the rest of the guys in the band like know notes, right? And so when we're playing, they'll be like, oh, and that C sharp Mixolydian thing there. And I'm like, can you tell me what fret we're talking about? And they're like, it goes on the 7th. And I'm like, oh, right, that one. Yeah, wacky real quick. But the way this tuning works for me is like, you know, actually, to be perfectly honest, I mean, other than learning Friends, the reason I like the tuning is because as a singer, I spend so much time being a jackass on stage that it's like, if the parts are really hard to play, I like mess it up, right? So this way, with this tuning, I just be like, right? So it's all, like there's your major chord, right? Like wherever you are, here's your major chord, right? But octaves, and the reason I play octaves so much on the guitar is because I fill in all the blanks, so if it's like a Mixolydian, or if it's minor, or if it's Lydian, or whatever, all the other cats are trying to embarrass me into thinking it is. If you play octaves, you can let all the other schmutz fill in the spaces, right? So a lot of my riffs are, here, let's go back to... You're gonna have that big bad boy? Yeah. Nice! But it's like, you know... But I mean, basically, the whole idea is it's like, I play everything, almost every riff I write is like based around octaves, and then that way when it comes to like orchestrating it, then you can, then I can kind of fill in the blanks with like the keyboards or whatever. See, I'm trying to make this like a clinic, and in actual fact, I just want to talk shit, right? I'll get there in a minute, right? We're going to make this seem like, well, Thank you so very much.
Yeah. All that stuff.
Yes, it is Dennis.
Yeah.
So here's this. Anyway, I've been working with Peavy since deconstruction started. I finished deconstruction like 4 days ago, 5 days ago. I mean, guys, that record's fucked. It's like I think since strapping, my whole thing has been people like, oh, we want you to do strapping again. I'm like, well, of course. I mean, I love that band. Strapping's awesome. But I'm 38 and I'm not doing drugs and I got a kid and I'm like bald. You know, it's like you gotta be true to yourself, right? And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, because strapping was such a cool thing for me, the reason it was so cool is because I like, you know, City. I mean, that's who I was when I was 23. That's like exactly what I wanted to write. So I wrote it, and there it was. And then after that, people were like, well, do City again. And I'm like, you know, now I'm 38. I'm like, well, I can't. But when I was 33, I was like, okay, I'll try. Right? When I did Alien, and it totally made a mess of myself, right? Which is like entertaining. But in hindsight, let's not do that again. But I mean, after that, I quit doing drugs and everything. I kind of went through this full trip where I was like, well, how do you justify making this music? I mean, it's not that I have any like moral stance or anything on music. That's not for me to decide. But I mean, as I got older, I was just like, well, strapping, what made it so awesome was from the heart. I was like, fuck the world, right? But now I'm like, not. Seriously. And it's like, the internet's cool because we can connect with folks like yourselves and and hang out and like realize there's like really bugger all difference between people wherever you go, right? But at that point I was like, yeah, but I like my friends and I like my family and I like playing music and I'm like fortunate to play live and everything. So why would I want to say fuck the world, right? Like I really don't. So. But I still am like really predisposed to writing crazy music, right? So with deconstruction, it took going through Key and then Addicted and then get to deconstruction and say, okay, well, how do we really want to make this work? And it ended up being, a shit show. But I mean, the thing is with like Infinity and with Alien, I lost the plot at the end of both those records and ended up, in fetal position sucking my thumb for a couple of years. But this one, I was like, no way, like we're gonna get through this one, and not only are we gonna get through it, but it's gonna be way more intense than those ones, and the point's gonna be like it's gonna be a positive sentiment, and it's gonna just like once it gets people down, and they're just like, okay, I've had enough. You're like, no, we haven't even gotten started yet. Actually, just sit there. And by the end of that record, you're just like, okay, I give. And then it goes to Ghost. So in a way, deconstruction's like, hey, listen to Ghost. So I know as a guitar clinic, okay, God, what do you do with guitar shit? Okay.
Play Freebirds!
Okay, yeah. I don't even know that song. I'm really like. It's like I've been playing in this weird ass tuning for so long, I wouldn't even know how to play Freebird. Although I think it's like a genetic predisposition for folks in the States too, right? So it's like, well, Canada, so well. What should I do? Should I play some dumb shit? I'll play some dumb shit. That is loud. Is that coming from there? Oh, okay. Can I turn it down? What? Right. Right. This one? Yeah. All right. That's too loud. I like it quiet. Which one's the guitar? This one?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Crank it up the tone. And And I was producing a bunch of dubious bands, like seriously, there were some like interesting bands, right? There's some good bands for sure too, but I also did like some shitty bands. But Peavy was just like, dude, you should like actually be playing your own music. And of course the first thing was like, well, we'll bring strapping back. And I'm like, yeah, but I'll say it one more time, this time, call calm tone of voice. Ain't gonna happen for this reason, this reason, this reason. And they said, okay, well, why don't you just get back out there and start making music? And so I did. I started with Key, and you know, I mean, I think Key's a great record, right? But the public reaction to that, for the most part, is just like, but it's like weird. But it's like subtle, and I'm like, yeah, well, you know, for the folks that like wake up in the morning and roll out of bed and put on Domination by Morbid Angel, you're probably not gonna hang out much anyway, right? Most of the time the guys just like, dude, we're gonna kill him tonight, we're gonna go rock here, we're gonna fucking rage, man, it's gonna be like, yeah, but, you know, Antiques Roadshow's on, and so, but again, so I put out Key, and it was like, it was cool. I mean, it's like, but it starts this story, right? You know, like there's this dubious story that goes between 4 records, and at the end of Key is to keep it less pretentious than it really obviously is. The character, ooh, I wonder who that is. It sort of manages to have like a bit of an epiphany and say, oh, okay, well, if you're predisposed to it, you get a clear head, you might as well just like jump into it. So with Addicted, the second record, which is a little heavier, right? It's kind of like dancey and pretty optimistic, but almost to a fault in a certain extent, right? And again, it was like, with BB, you know, they're just like, no, it's cool, but metal, come on, give us metal. And I'm like, yeah, but, you know, I do metal, yeah, of course, right? I get a metal hard. But I really like New Age music, and I really like Enya, you know, I really do. So I was like, well, what am I going to make a heavy record about, you know? If it's not Fuck the World, like what's it going to be about? So Deconstruction became this record about, okay, well, let's take apart what it is about heavy music that you're so fascinated by, right? And I think the conclusion is, on some level, it's like, artistically, there's this like arrogance that comes, it's like, oh yeah, no, I can figure it out, man. Like, I can figure out the face of reality. I'm like smart enough to understand it freely, of course, man. I'm a super brain. And very obviously, by doing Deconstruction, you realize, no, I'm an idiot. And not only was I an idiot before this started, but I'm more of an idiot now that I've gotten through it. But the quest has resulted in this big pointy guitar, which is cool, yeah. But it's very specifically for Deconstruction. And you know, Deconstruction, which is honestly, it's like I can't quite figure out how I feel at the end of that record. It's like it's traumatized for sure, but it's not like anally raped, like you know, like Alien made me feel. Right? But it's like, I don't know, as opposed to like a petulant teenager being pissed off that you can't borrow the car, it's more like your dad going, you can't borrow the car. Yeah. And then Ghost, the record after that, is really, it's like, I've always wanted to make something beautiful. You know, like I say, I love like flute music and, you know, peace and quiet and nature. And but most of the time, and so like the people that help me on Deconstruction, I mean, I got a ton of guests, and they're from like awesome bands, right? And like an orchestra and like all this cool shit. And it really makes it like, you know, got a guy who makes awesome sounding metal records to mix it. So dude, it's a metal record, right? But it's a very interesting one, right? But the guy who's helping the orchestrator, Florian, he sings in this black metal band from Germany, Dark Fortress, I think. Right? And he was just like, and he's like, dude, Deconstruction, right on Deconstruction. I said, here, dude, check out Ghost. He's like, dude, you gotta turn that off, man. So it seems to be that Ghost is a much more dangerous record because it's like people are just like, I don't want to hear beautiful things. I want to be reminded about how shit things are. So I mean, Deconstruction is like, you know, into Ghost. I think together it's a cool pairing of records because it's like on one side it's brutal, on one side it's like, oh man, God, I gotta play this thing now, don't I? Okay. Well, what should I play? What do you got? You want to learn anything? Like, what do you want to learn? What? Oh, okay. Grab the other guitar. Sorry, bud. It's Armando, man. Armando's the shit, and he's just like been unfortunately having to deal with my kerfuckery. Canadian term, by the way. And this is a nice guitar. People made this one. This is a nice guitar. I like this one. I like that too, man. But that's like our rock poses 1 through 49, and that one. That's the hum I'm looking for. Wait, I wonder if it's this. Oh, I know we know this. That's alright, fuck it. That's okay. Never mind. I never listen to this shit. Like once it's done, I'm just like, okay, well that's done. Onward. Then sometimes there'll be a song coming out, I'm like, who the hell is this? Why is it annoying me so much? Oh, that's right, it's me. It's like swimming upstream in a, like river your own screw sometimes. But I think a lot of times it's like making music as well. It's just like, okay, well, the reason why I make it is to like get from that guitar is horrible. Yeah, that white one. I would totally play that. I thought you give me the stink eye there. Okay, I'm gonna wank. I mean, shit, we were still here, right? So let's get the wank boots on. Deadhead? Oh, okay. I'll show you how to play Deadhead, right? That could work. Yeah. I can make it like I'm like showing you how to play a song. It doesn't make it sound like I know how to do it as opposed to just going, Deadhead is what we typically know as like a minor sort of a sound. Minor sound scale. Alright, so we'll go like this. It's gonna get, just wait, I'm just getting warmed up, man. a bunch of white pages say like this. And it was like funny. It's like I did something for Guitar World magazine the other day, and they were like, "I'll play us a lick." And so I played some stupid lick, and they were like, "Oh, okay, so slow that down." And I was like, "Uh-oh." And he said, "Well, what are we gonna call that?" And I'm like, it's like third, fifth fret thing. He's like, no, that'll be a Sue minor mixolydian snake charm. I'm like, oh. Want me to hold your purse while you write that down? Yeah, so that's me with guitar, man. Guitar is like, I think I'm actually a pretty good guitar player, but I mean, it's like man, I write some shitty solos just because I never find like there's a need in a song for a solo. I mean, where there's a solo, you can put like an explosion. Right? And it's a long solo, it's just like a series of explosions. But on Deconstruction, there's like, I got my wank boots on for a bunch of it, but I also got some other buddies who are like really love playing solos to come in and like, I was like, dude, I'm on the licks. Can you help me out on this part? You're better than me anyway, right? So, but I mean, honestly, I just, some people write on the piano, some on the guitar, and I don't know, I like the instrument, and I like, like in key and ghost and everything, it's definitely gotten to that sort of stuff, actually, that works for me. Like the kind of like one or two note kind of. Every time you're playing, people are like, yeah, metal. Dude, that was deadly. Once that sounded expensive. Dude.
It's only more colorful.
I know, man. That camera lens looks good too. Totally. If I had one of those, people would obviously know they're just like, damn, you got a small wang. I'm saying my wang is like fucking hating it, man. It's how they grow up in Canada. Yeah, like short and angry. Yes. Come on, okay, so we're still working with guitar, right? Should it be more guitar? You tell me. Can I just talk shit, please, Dave? Okay, good. It's good. Yeah, it's so much better for me, right? Point the PB thing. We're good. Anybody got questions about like poo or anything? Okay, someone asked me a question. You guys give me a good one.
When you play the sweeps or numbers,
Yeah.
do you use traditional sweeping all the way down and all the way back up, or do you pick each note?
I pick each note. See, that's a special pedal. That just means I've never done radio in high school. Shit, that's all that. Yeah, but I mean, it's like, I get stuck on musical ideas too, right? Like, a lot of people are like, oh, that's not fair. You played that singer on the last record, now it's on the new record. You're right. You didn't write on the last one yet, right? It's all a work in progress. Like, that lick is actually now in, on Deconstruction, there's a song called The Mighty Masturbator. It's like 16 minutes of like jerking off. But yeah, that lick's in that one too. It's like it ends up going. Something like that. But it's like it's numbered as well, right? But it's like the whole idea is like through Ziltoid, through Ocean Machine, through Sequestra, Infinity. It's like the themes, it's like, dude, it's like one theme. Like all the records are like connected, man. What that theme is, I'm not quite sure yet, but it's starting to come together. I think it's something to do with food. At the end, it's like, And this large body of work ultimately ends up saying, I really like stuff. That's my theme, guys. Stuff is awesome. Yeah, but I mean, so like from infinity on, like all the themes just keep on coming and like getting morphed around and everything. And I think on one level, I'm just trying to say this to be like, yeah, man, there's a theme that's supposed to be like that. But on another level, it's probably just lazy and I just keep recycling riffs, right? But either way, I'm going with the first one. Because it makes me seem like I'm like, you know, in control of my destiny, as opposed to just like, you know, too tired to care. Oh, that could possibly be. Another question.
Is that the guitar you recorded key with?
Yeah. Yeah, I recorded this one with, actually there's another one that Peter said had this like a horrible blue finish. I took a belt sander to it. But this one was like so pretty I decided to bring it on tour. But of course, everything in my life is pretty and I have to like fuck with it. So I like ripped the pickup out and like put this one in and everything. And now I don't like this one, I'm gonna take that one out, right? You know, I don't know if you find the same thing. It's like my iPod as well. It's like I've got it cased in like this, like a huge chunk of rubber. It's like people, things in my life, it's like the stuff I can like live through like not being handled carefully are the things that I have in my life for a long time, right? Like if it can't take like abuse, it usually just doesn't last. Like someone's like, oh, here's this beautiful fragile pedal. And I'm like, oh, nice! No, dude, I did that. And I live as well, right? But I mean, that's kind of how I roll, right? I'm just kind of like, I'm like, yeah, if you have to be careful with it, it's not going to last, right? So, you know, all the good things in my life, you know, I've been with my wife for 20 years, poor lady, right? So, you know, she's just like, fucking dick. Same with the band. We've known each other for a long time, too, haven't we? Yeah. So, yeah, with this guitar, it's nice, but I broke the neck on this one already, right? Like, I forget, I took it out of the case, it was just totally like messed up. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll use the other one. It was like a cheap one with the belt sander, and it worked great. So, you know, there's my advice to aspiring musicians. If you can throw it off something and it doesn't break, like, write a song with it. But I mean, I think it's like, you know, I think fragile things are nice, too. I like stuff. Another question? It's like I've been like kind of like metal guy for so long that it was kind of cool to be in a position where someone said, well, here, just, you know, try and do something that improves it. You're cheesy in other areas too. But no, there's no plan. I mean, that was like, you know, Billy Sheehan and a bunch of cool folks on there, so it was nice to be involved, right? But I mean, I like to sing. I like to dance. But I mean, in all honesty, I'd love to branch out into things that, you know, or like, you know, like different than metal too, right? Like, I mean, I love house music. I'm such a cheeseball. Right? I like to dance, and I like to say it again, right? But, you know, in terms of like, you know, what I want to do musically, I'm on a tangent here. It's just, that train is heading to the derail part, right? It's going to happen like 4 seconds from now, I think, basically. So everywhere we're talking about, the answer is probably yes. I want to make it still seem like a clinic, so I'm just going to ramble on about scales here for a minute, just to make that part of it. Is that okay? Yeah.
Go.
Right, all right. So anyway, in open C tuning, you will find that every string is the same pattern. Okay, so like, this is C, and that's a C, or no, wait, that's a C, and that's a G, and that's a C, and that's a G, and that's a C. So you just go. It's the same. That's rad. You want to make it minor? You want to make it one of these? Or at the Mission Flagelen? Right? I don't know what the hell they're called, but that one's got, I always go by like the vibe, right? Like, oh, walking along a sunny beach. Oh, we're standing beside a gate. Oh, we're looking towards the sky in pensive anticipation. You know, it's like, and then it's like when I'm like, oh, okay, well, this part really needs a bit of pensive anticipation. I'm like, well, we'll use that one. That's how we roll, right? And then arpeggios are great. I got hung up on arpeggios for Ziltoid. I was just like, oh, dude. all the same pattern. Oh, well, that's that one. That's the my mom playing piano on a Sunday afternoon. This is one that fucks me up live every time. You see what I mean? Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. It's like, you know what's funny when doing deconstruction recently? It's like I got the Prague Philharmonic Orchestra. Mortgage my fucking house. but you know, but all of a sudden it's like people online, it's like, oh, what do you think you're a composer? Because I'm a composer. You don't even have a beret, man. I was like, I'm not a composer, man. I'm just a jackass. But I'm not afraid to fail. So that's why we went to that thing, and I was just like, so I wrote it all out in MIDI and Pro Tools, and then I got some guy that actually knew notes to like transcribe my nerdosity, right? And then we went there, and you know, songs like Masturbator and Cheeseburger and all this stuff. And then it's like 60 musicians that have spent their whole life becoming part of this thing, right? And it's like Masturbator. I'm like, yeah. And even better with the choir, there's this one part. Here, there's a song called Pandemic, and like the sopranos go, Pandemic, I farted. And the lady was just like, are you saying farted? I was like, yeah, no, but they really farted. So. That's great, man. Bars closed, I'm an artist. But I think it's important, right, to be a jackass, because how's that? Inspirational speech. This is the mom playing piano on a Saturday chord, and it's important to be a jackass. Thank you, good night. Another question, man, this seat's comfy. You know, this man, I got this horrible leg brace, I got hemorrhoids too, man. I'm gonna lance him. Can we check that out on, no? My mom was like, fuck you. What's that? That'd be better. I can put my foot up and just be like, hey, so that's flying. Another question. Yeah. Said the man in the Ziltoid shirt. Yeah. Well, that's gonna be the next one, but in all honesty, what I want to do with deconstruction is I wanted to make it like, what I wanted to do with deconstruction was, because dude, like, it was like kind of punk rock orchestra project, you know, we're sleeping on each other's couch, and we had 4 hours to record like 200 minutes of music, right? It was like, does that make So I mean, really, it was like, oh my God, you masturbator again! Oh my God, say I farted with more acid. And now that it's done, and then I went to Jens, and you know, before Jens, I mean, he did like those reveries and like all the Amon Mars stuff, and like, he's great mixing engineer, right? But it's super precise. He's never done drugs, and he's like really clean, and the studio's like everything's got a place for everything, everything's black, white, and red, right? And I come in, and he's like, well, I've been working on this mix for a while, check it out, see what you think. I'm like, turn up the samples. And he's like, but you're not going to hear the drums. I'm like, no, everything louder than everything else. And he's like, yes, but that's not how it works. You're going to be conservative with it. And luckily, I was able to like go like this every now and then. Because the mix actually ended up sounding really good. And then I came back, and like, poor guy, he went to bed one night, and I was like, do you mind if I just use your computer all night? He's like, yeah, go for it. So I came back and said, dude, I got the mixes sounding exactly like they should. And turned it on, it's just like, and he had just gotten a cold, and he had this look on his face like, dude. So, what was I talking about? All right, so like the whole idea with deconstruction was just like, okay, well, let's make a demo and show people that, yeah, I'm a meathead, but I mean, I think I got some good ideas, right? And I think that if I've got like enough people around me that are like better than me, then we can make something that was like awesome. And so deconstruction is like, man, it's intense, right? But what I did is to give it to someone and say, well, look, if you give us like $2 million, 100 dancing girls, and then you What? Right. Okay. Then and what? One for each bum cheek. Oh, really? It's different too. Oh, I'll sit on Gresh. Oh wait, that's an FA. I'm gonna try out both, man. See, dude, no, I want to go. No. That's okay. All right, I'm gonna try this one. Now my mic's broken. I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to just be the jackass again, so everybody. Oh, it is broken. Oh, now I broke my guitar. Actually, like Sorry. So, Ziltoid 2, basically. After people hear deconstruction, I think there's going to be somebody somewhere who's going to go, "Egads! This man should write a musical about a 700-foot tall inflatable Ziltoid dispensing cheeseburgers over 200,000 people. We'll give him a choir, an orchestra, and you know what? When Ashley Simpson isn't on tour, we'll take her screams." Because I figured, I said, Dr. Directing Dave Armando. Hey, hi guys. We hung out last night. It was pretty cool. But I figure if you could take like all that kind of production that goes into making like shit pop music and make shit nerd music, it would be just as epic. But I've got these ideas for Ziltoid too. So basically, after the Tusker Festival, here's the nerd part of it. Ziltoid let it go to his head because he thought everybody came to see him, right? You know, and he was like, "Yes, I'm a god." But what ended up happening is he got condemned to the second dimension by these gray aliens at the end. And as a result of that, he's now, he's condemned to the second dimension. He's now part of the comic book, right? And so Ziltoid's stuck in a comic book right now. He's trying to get out. But in the comic book, he's able to actualize all these fantasies. Like he's got a harem of like 200 like heavily breasted Ziltoidian women that, you know, he like mulches into like soup or something. You know, he like does a bunch of like crazy shit. But at the end, it leaves him strangely empty, right? So he decides to start to meditate. So Ziltoid decides all of a sudden for Ziltoid Square that everything is Ziltoid. And the creative license that you can take with that is pretty cool. But I mean, like, if you had like, really like, oh, dude, that guy's giving me the stink eye. Am I pissing you off? Are we good? No? Okay, good. But like, seriously, if you had like tons of money and you could just make Ziltoid do whatever you want and like illustrate it, like on, man, like kung fu fights with like elephants, like, dude, so sick. So we'll see if deconstruction if everybody likes it. I mean, I like it, so I'll fund it. I'll sue myself. Hyperdrive. All right. Okay, I just derailed again. Another question before I give a bunch more useless guitar info. Yeah, go ahead.
I was wondering how you approach your mixes, because you have a lot of kind of, you know, lush synths, beefy picks, all this. I'm wondering how you all gel them together.
Oh, thanks. Oh. I mean, I think it's a lot of just like, you know, my mantra while I'm mixing is usually, I suck. And then eventually it's just like, you know, the arrogance overrides that. I'm like, but you can't suck, bro. So I just like take the work, and I just keep turning knobs until it like doesn't sound like shit, right? Because man, the first couple of mixes of mine are always like, seriously, like pretty bad, right?
Do you tend to find that when you solo it, like if you have your beefy kick, do you tend if you solo it sounds quite small in the mix context?
No, that's been my problem. Mastering guy hates me. Is everything that's in my mix sounds like it does, but I mean you should probably have it smaller, right? But I mean I'm just kind of like, oh, beefy kick sounds beefy. But I mean, well, I guess what I would do, I'd say in terms of like the technique behind it, is I do a lot of like shelving, right? Where like if you've got, I said this yesterday actually, I'll say it again. My sessions are divided into, so I do drums, bass, and guitar in the first session, and I do the drums at like a nice fancy pants studio, right? But I'll do sub-mixes at the end. You know, I'll do all my edits, and then I'll sub-mix that session down to like a stereo file. And then I'll import it into a new session with the same timeline, and then I'll name that one samples. And then I'll add all my samples to like that sub-mix, and then when I finish that, I'll mix down the samples into like 2 or 3 stereo files, and then put that back into the drum one. And I'll do the same thing with vocals, and so ultimately I'm working off like multiple sessions. And then when I mix them together, it's not like I've got this like, 7-mile long session that I have to try and think about. It's like each one of them is kind of dedicated to its own trip. But vocals are like the most difficult in order to make it work, because I do so many vocals, right? Like there's hundreds of vocals on like most of the records. And if you don't shelve each one of them, and shelving just means like finding the frequencies that are intrinsic to that part, and then like carving out everything else. So like the mix, you've got one vocal there, one there, snare, toms, snare, kick, hats, echo, right? And I think that's the best way to go. And I mean, that's honestly trial and error, because the first record I ever mixed was like Punky Brewster. And I mean, dude, I don't know if anybody's heard that, but that's like, that's
Also records.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that, man. But man, foul mix. But again, it's like, like trial by fire, right? Like I appreciate like just being able to like get it out there, because public humiliation is a great motivator to not repeat those mistakes, right? So I'm gonna play some nice stuff here. Anybody have any guitar questions? Anybody have any other questions?
Do you ever play?
Pinch harmonics.
Pardon me?
Play some Stephen Pinch harmonics.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem with pinch harmonics with me is it's like there's one in number that he goes dun 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 woo, right? And I always try and go for that one live, and I hit it like 1 out of every 4 times. And when I don't, it's like dun 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 dun. You get enough echo on it too. It's like dun 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 dun. Let's see. We're gonna try it. I'm going for it. Yeah, I'm running a little weak on that one. So yeah, I do pinch harmonics, right? I'm not Zach Wild about it, but I think your sound comes from your wrist. There you go. Guitar lesson number 1. Class number 4. Another question. Come on, let's move I'm using the amp modeling for like everything. It sounds a little weird to hear right now, but it's like I think that if you come to the show, I think it sounds awesome. And actually, like the shit for me, right? But I mean, for the DTP thing that I'm doing now, because we're trying to represent 20 years of music, right? Like, and there's so many different tones, like Synchester or Ocean Machine or AE or Infinity, that it's good to have it all in like a real simple place. Excuse me, a real simple place. But when I'm actually just like ripping out at home, I play a telly into like an old amp with a tape echo and like nothing else. And it's like I find that I write better with that than almost any other time. In fact, that's how all that key stuff was written too, right? It's like I remember when I was like. Sound with a bunch of echo, and I just keep riffing out, and it's like my whole thing with writing it is I really like playing with where the one lands, and it's not. I got that same problem. Swedish TV, man. I was watching this show, and they were stacking apples, They're stacking apples. It was a game show. They're stacking apples. And I was just horrified. I was in a shitty mood at the beginning. I was like, what are you stacking apples for? We're just having apples now. But then as soon as it was over, it segued straight into the angriest pornography. It was like women that hate you, volume 2. I mean, it's like, porn's like a hard thing. That fucks me up. I think it fucks up most of us, right? But I mean, porn fucks me up, so I try and stay away from it. But it was like right there, and it was like there was this. That's what it was. I was just. They're just like, I don't want to be doing this. That was like the whole vibe on TV. So anyway, with the one, I move it around. And it's like if you sit there and you just keep writing, it's like I really like a circular kind of like rhythm. I'm a professional. And I quit drinking too. I really like everything being like a circle, right? So what I'll usually do when I'm jamming is I'll just let a click track go without any definite one, and then I just keep kind of moving it around. Like Ghetto is a good example of that. And then I'll program a drum beat that's just like relentlessly playing 4/4, and then I just kind of move my stuff around, right? And but showing drummers that, they're just like, why? What? And I'm just like, no, just keep doing this, and then I'll move this, and then every now and then just do a punch. So the guy who did keys, good guy, right? He's an older cat, and he was just like, I don't get it, man. And I was like, well, if you just keep looping 4, eventually we're going to come around to each other again, right? But yeah, so 1, Swedish porn, old guys. That's what the next record's about. Another question, please.
Do you practice singing and playing at the same time? Do you find that hard, or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy. There's one part, we played Ziltonia Attacks last night for the first time, and it was like, didn't actually go over. You know, it was weird because it was such a good vibe of the show, and all of a sudden I'm like, right? And it's like, but that one, I think it goes, dude, like this rhythm is like, Ziltonia Attacks. Ships are in the air. Everything goes good. It's like, so I went, I guess, and I assumed rock pose 43. It's like 1 foot this way, 1 foot in the back, arms in the air, and put your face in the red light, right? That's rock pose 43. I remember when I was younger, I used to think, like, oh man, you get bald, you got fucked up teeth, and you got, But then I started realizing, but red lights, red underlighting, that shit's cool. So yeah, what else? Can I give you some? Do you mind giving me something to talk about, like something that's interesting?
Me?
Oh sure.
No, I thought you were talking to me then.
Okay. Oh no, it's okay. This is gonna be a good one though. Just wait for this. I'm gonna think of something really good. Okay.
Did you play Coast?
Pardon me?
Did you play Coast?
Oh yeah. See? That's what I'm talking about. That was actually a little later in the program, but okay. Yeah, so. Sorry, but. Alright. My bum hurts, so. Yeah, we can land over here. Dude, it's like 2 elbows pressing together. It's Canadian class. I sang my balls off last night. You know what's funny? It's first thing in the morning too, man. I'm sweating now too. My pits are like nasty. Alright. What else? So deconstruction and ghost are done. Dead Square is gonna be next one. I've got this project, like I love playing bass. Way more than I like playing guitar. I like playing bass. Eventually, when I'm in my Massive Attack cover band, we'll be hanging out. I'll be in the back. But I've got this thing I've got planned. It's this bass project. I want to call it Obviouser. Check this out, man. Check this out. 6-string fretless bass, right? But just like the most apocalyptic sounds ever with all that echo on it, just like and this is the best part. Okay, we're gonna build these two things. We call them the resonomes. Check this out. They're huge pyramids with eyes, and they're these gnomes, right? But they've got sympathetic strings on the front of them, like a sitar. So every note that I hit on the bass, it like reverberates with them. And the notes that are like, if it's a C, his eyes glow blue, and if it's like an A, they glow red. And then the sympathetic strings get run through like a synth, and it triggers MIDI things, and there's like tons of echo. And it's just like these two gnomes on either side of the table, just like. Then I want to get this gothic choir to do all the all shit in like Latin or something with like overdubs. And then as well, I want to have big pictures of the universe flying by. And I check this out. So I'm gonna call myself Noam Chomsky. I have a huge mouth. You can't see because I have this big hood, right? So all you see is this like creepy looking mouth, and I'm going, and then I'm going, and then there's another spaceship. So that's obvious. And then I've got another one. Epic Cloud is going to be this other one. It's just going to be me playing like kind of like a big old kind of jazz box guitar, playing like kind of like hard rock pop stuff, and I'll be all effervescent and shit. So there's that. And then I think we're going to redo a bunch of the stuff from like that never got heard from like Ocean Machine, like Physicist. And you know, redo them in one place. Like I'd like to redo like Kingdom and like Truth and Life and Sit in the Mountain that never got heard, and maybe Material and like a bunch of the more like poppy sort of stuff, right? Because I tell you what, man, like deconstruction is not poppy. You know, that's basically. I'll say it again, man. Like it's traumatizing, right? You know, but that's why it comes out at the same time as Ghost, right? Because it's like. Goes just like really nice, but yeah. All right, another question. Come on, give me. Yes, please.
You're like, there's stuff like this, and kind of like a really, very tricky with like a really common theme.
Yeah.
Like musically and lyrically well.
Sure.
Do you come up with a theme at the beginning of the record? Do you feel like I've got a theme what's the record about it, or do you record maybe okay, this is really positive, like dead positive stuff?
Well, in all honesty, I very rarely know what the record's about till it's done. You know, and then I'm like, oh wow, oh okay. But like everything I write is just like it's a direct correlation to what's going on in my life at that point, right? Like I remember when I was writing Key, I was just like, what the hell is this stuff, you know? And then after it was done, I was like, oh okay, cool. You know, it's like the beginning of this sort of thing, and I think you know the theme for like deconstruction, Ghost, and Key, and Addicted, and all that was like established years ago, right? Like after Ziltoy. You know, like quit smoking, we had the kid and all that, right? But, you know, the themes are really important for me because it allows me to like illustrate it and color it in. Even when I was producing bands, I've been looking for like what's a common denominator in terms of these songs, you know? And you know, it's impossible for me to assume that, you know, a group of songs that happened at one period of time don't have like a common, you know, thread running through them, whether or not it was like, okay, whoever wrote them was in relationship turmoil or, you know.
Because like physicists, I think physicist sounds a lot like say when you put them right next to each other.
Yeah, I think the difference with like physicists, like, I mean, after Infinity Man, it's like, I made some assumptions on my personal life that caused me like some problems, right? So a physicist was really like, oh man, I'm a jackass, and that was basically the theme of that. It's like, oh, I'm really sorry for being a goof, right? But I think that the aesthetics of that became gray and kind of like wistfully looking out the window while it's raining while someone's playing a viola in the back room, with like sweet metal drums. But again, I think it's like every time I work on a record, there's like something that like binds it, right? Like with deconstruction, for example, there's really this well, let's get to the root of what it is about having music that's making you afraid, right? Like, are you afraid of yourself? Are you afraid of failure? Are you afraid of success? Like, what is it, right? I guess I'm afraid of cheeseburgers, right? So, but no, the theme's very important to me, and all of them, from Ocean Machine all up, got like that theme, right? So of some sort, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna play some more. It's gonna be good. Yeah. Someone go. It's Sunday afternoon. I don't know. I don't remember any of this shit anymore. I was like, that was a weird thing. See that chord? Like, I'm a jazz guy. I don't know how to play numbers here. I don't know how to play most of the stuff, actually. But I think that's probably healthy. I think if you spend too much time listening to your own stuff, you're like, problems, right? But I'll tell you what, guys, above and beyond me just like talking a bunch of shit and like playing a bunch of dubious guitar licks here, I can't thank you enough for listening to this stuff, and that's from the bottom of my heart, like really. Like, and there's been some people who've listened to this stuff for 20 years, and in the climate that we're in musically at this point, with like downloading and the internet and all this stuff, I can't continue to do it without you guys coming to the shows and like supporting it, right?
Can't thank you enough for creating it, man.
Man, thank you. It's like the biggest joy of this whole thing for me is to be able to get out and like actually meet people, right? Because I think the internet allows you a real fair amount of being anonymous to this trip, and and I think like the nature of what I'm trying to do musically is like really emotional, right? And it's just really important that we like get to meet up and have these things happen, right? So I'm gonna keep doing it, guys, and thank you so much. Now what we're gonna do is I'll probably sit behind this what is that? Is that like marble? Marble, right? Yeah, it's nice. I like it. I'll sit behind that nice faux marble thing there. And if you guys want photos, whatever you want signed, like I'll stay here until it's done, right? So, and we'll see you tonight at the show, hopefully. And again, thank you so much.